At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
And welcome to the show today, Author Brand Show. You're going to want to take notes. If you don't, they're right below here. And boy, we're going to have some rational thoughts, although it might not seem rational when you hear about our guest. I'm so excited to talk to this gentleman. He's started writing creatively at the age of 7, okay? Worked on his first book for 5 years, and at age 17, published his first book. Now, during high school, he was an application to an entrepreneur program called the Summer Company and was selected as a finalist. And that helped him fund and promote his first novel in a series. Interesting guy, great story. He's currently a university student now, working towards his Bachelor of Arts in English. Lives with his family and his dog in Ontario, Canada. So welcome to the show today, our author entrepreneur, Mr. Tyler Snure. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Thanks for being on the show today. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
The thing we're going to hook people with, why you should stick around and listen to this young man, is we're going to learn something that you old folks might have forgotten about entrepreneurship and authorship. We're going to learn from his, now he's not 17 now. How old are you now?
23.
23. We're going to learn from a 23-year-old who started writing at age 7 about how he started his journey and the things he's learned from that. But before we do, I want to get a little background from Tyler. So Tyler, age 7, what were you writing then?
Ooh, some really bad stuff. Not like bad, but
yeah.
Grammatically bad, just structurally bad, just stuff that I keep in my drawer, right?
Right.
I mostly short stories about my friends. Just embarrassing stuff that no one now wants to see or needs to see. But it was a starting point.
Yeah, great. So even though it wasn't bad when you were 7, 8, 9 years old, or just bad when you look back upon it?
As a 7-year-old, it wasn't bad to me.
Yeah,
I think I
right.
did show my parents, actually, and
Yeah.
they were like, oh, that's
Yay.
nice. Good job. Okay, put that away now.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. And they were stories based on friendships. What about after that? How about your first book? Was that about the friendship, or was that the magical thing we're going to talk about?
No, my first book is the book that I published, The Jewels of Fate.
Nice.
That actually, though, did start as a short story that I wrote for fun one day in class. I think I was probably grade 7 at the time.
Yeah.
And I liked that concept so much, and my parents actually liked the concept so much that they encouraged me to work on it more and develop it more into a bigger story, which eventually turned into a novel.
Nice. That's terrific. All right, so let's get into the business part here and see what nuggets of wisdom we can learn from you, young man. In terms of the entrepreneurship as an author, I mean, I work with a lot of thought leadership, CEOs and stuff with their books. Here you are writing novels at a young age, but you took an entrepreneurship course about the business side of this. How do you blend the creative side of authorship with business? What did you learn, and what are you doing now?
For sure. So up until the age of 17, I did not see writing as a business. I just saw it as this creative activity that I knew I wanted to do, and I knew I wanted to make my career as a very young age. But it wasn't until I was in my grade 11 business class that I learned that those two are connected, business and writing. And once you hit publish on a novel, there's this whole other step called marketing, and that's where the business comes in. And you need these business skills in order to sell a book.
Yep. So, again, this is going to be really informational for people, because in the nonfiction space, there's always this backup. Hey, I can also sell consulting or a course or curriculum to go with my book. They use their books for lead generation. As entrees, maybe leave behind, or you're speaking somewhere. As a novelist, your core deliverable is the story. So how do you go about marketing and selling your stories?
For sure. So you treat it as any other product that you would in the marketplace. You find your target audience, you find where your target audience hangs out, and then you use marketing methods to reach that target audience. So, for example, my audience is kids and teens who like reading fantasy, and also parents who have kids who enjoy reading. So I kind of got two target markets there. So for me, I do a lot of parenting podcasts. I do school visits, because that's where the parents are as well as the kids, and the parents are the ones making the purchasing decision for most of the kids.
I've often told people who are writing kids' books, I said, you realize most of them don't have credit cards. You really
Exactly.
have to market to the parents and sell the content to the kids. It's called lead generation or client demand. Kids got to want, Mom, please buy me that book, right? Yeah. So podcasts and school tours. How do you get in front of a school to want to hear you talk about your book?
So I do cold outreach. I have a few strategies that I use to connect with schools. It helps if you know a teacher. So that's kind of how I started.
Yeah.
So I've gone to my old high school many, many times, presented in the library, English classrooms. I think that was my first school I ever presented at.
Oh, nice.
So you start with the people you know, and then you ask the people that you know if they know other people who could benefit from your talk.
Right.
So that's how it starts to branch out.
I love it. So, okay, so you're speaking in a school. The kids may or may not be able to, depending on the age of the kids, probably don't have their credit card. How do you market to the parents then?
So I have an order form that I bring to the schools. Occasionally, depending on the school's policy and rules, I might send it before.
Right.
But the kids get an order form that they take home, and the parents have to sign it as well as send the money in order for the child to purchase the book. So occasionally I get a few sales the day of, but most of my sales come after the fact. So the teacher will reach back out and say, hey, we had 8 or 10 kids bring in order forms. You sold X amount of books. We have the money at the office. You can drop off the books. We'll give you the money. And that's kind of how it works.
Wonderful. Do you do any tracking on your, outreach, leads, sales type of thing? Do you do any number crunching on that?
Oh, all the time. Because
Okay,
it's
great.
important. It's important, that accounting and number crunching.
So when you're speaking somewhere, what kind of metrics do you look for when you're approaching a school? And give us some idea. You don't have to be specific on the money, but hey, for every time I talked, I picked up X.
I would say, well, it depends from school to school. Also, it's different in elementary school versus high school because there is more purchasing power with the kids in a high school.
Sure.
So I might not need the order form there, so it removes a step. I would say I can, if I'm talking in a classroom of 20 kids, at least 5 will purchase either the day of or the day after, roughly. So my guess is around a 25 to 30% conversion rate.
Wonderful. That's great, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good right now.
Yeah, no, I think that's phenomenal. Most people aren't getting that selling adult curriculums and books. I think that's a really good number. All right, so you're speaking at schools, doing podcasts, parent type podcasts, being very clear and specific about your process, which I love. What's been some of your biggest challenges as an entrepreneur in launching this business?
Definitely the marketing. So like I said before, I knew nothing about book marketing and the intersection of writing and business. So once I published my first novel, I had to go and learn all these new skill sets.
Right.
And one of them was speaking, like learning how to communicate and pitch my offer in front of parents or kids. Another one was I had to get really good with graphic design and website design. Even though I outsourced a lot of that, I still had to have enough of a sense to paint the picture for them. And then my website designer or my illustrator for my books, who is amazing, kind of takes that idea and runs with it and makes it much better than I could ever make it.
Yeah. Okay. So you're still going to university right now, yes?
Yes.
Is this enough money to pay for some books and food, or how's it working for you business wise? It's part time.
So currently my academic schedule is I'm part time because I do this full time.
Yep.
So I'm currently only taking 1 course a semester.
Okay.
Because I need that extra time and extra focus to work on my next novel, to focus on the school visits and the podcasts and the other marketing activities I'm doing. And if I was in a full class load, I would not be able to give the business the attention that I want to give it.
Yeah, terrific. So the biggest challenge, marketing. Is there any other products or services you're bundling with the book at this point, or is it just the story?
Yes, yes. So I recently launched a new offer alongside my books. So for the longest time, I was just selling books.
Yeah.
Now I work with parents to empower them with reading strategies to help their reluctant readers, along with recommendations for books that are perfect for reluctant readers, because there's such a need for reading right now, and
Yeah.
the stat is kids spend an average of 8 to 9 hours of screen on a day. And the attention span for books has dramatically decreased over the years. So it's so important for kids to find a book that hooks them and gets them back into reading.
Yep.
And I model what I teach based on what they can find in my novels. So the reading strategies that I give and empower parents with, they can find in my novel. So, for example, I constantly talk about how parents should buy books for their kids that are under 500 pages, because if you go over 500 pages, you've lost a reluctant reader. They're not going
That's
to...
for kids. For adults, it's about 130 pages. Then you lose people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
For reluctant readers, you're not getting them to finish a 500-page
Right.
novel.
Right.
But
Yeah.
a book that's around 350 pages,
There we go.
like The Jewels of Fate, that might be a little easier to manage.
Yeah. Interesting. So again, this goes back to every author, and I'm so impressed you're doing this as a fiction author, because this is kind of an obvious thing in the nonfiction world. But in the fiction world, so many people that I speak with, they just focus only on their manuscript. They don't understand that it's not just good enough anymore to be entertaining. You've got to be useful, right? And I think that's you've nailed it, man, with this learning to read. Because literacy, I'm guessing, is, like you said, people aren't interested. They're watching so many videos. They're not reading as much anymore.
Exactly.
Is literacy down as a whole in our country, or?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought
I don't
so.
know the exact stat, but
Yeah.
especially in the COVID years, it
Yeah.
has decreased quite dramatically.
Wow. So the parents must be very happy and excited that you're doing this. It's not just entertainment, but get your kids to
Yes.
actually read some more. Good deal. All right. In terms of your biggest success, going to speaking somewhere, podcast, what's been your best success story on that?
My best success story. Oh, I haven't thought about this question.
That's okay.
Well, I have just crossed the 25 podcast and conference mark. So I've spoken at
Congratulations.
over 25 conferences, podcasts, and schools, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably my biggest.
Yeah, it's good. You
success
stay
in that
locally
world.
in Canada area, or do you go out in the U.S. at all, or just focus on your province? Or
In person, just Canada for now.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have spoken virtually to audiences based in the States.
Yep.
Like a few years ago, I did a talk to a writers group based in, I want to say, Rhode Island. But yeah, it was somewhere in the New York State.
Right. Terrific. So when it comes to, getting the book message out there, you're doing podcasts, you're speaking, are you leading that with the story or with the benefit of becoming more literate? What do you lead with on your marketing?
Both. It depends on the podcast and what the host
answer.
wants.
Good answer. Good answer. All right. Well, here's the real zinger for you. This is for especially people like yourself who are, a little more youthful than most of our clients, whatnot. How has AI impacted your business, both from a writing standpoint and from a marketing standpoint?
Oof. So I'll speak to the marketing first.
Sure.
I think AI is great for marketing, and I use it especially with social media.
Yeah.
So I am not great at coming up with ideas for my social media or captions or anything like that.
Right.
So what I'll do is I'll plug into ChatGPT, hey, here's my audience, here's
Yeah.
the general idea of what I'm going for. Can you spit out 10 captions that might go with this post?
Right.
And occasionally I'll find 5 or 6 that are fantastic, and occasionally ChatGPT will drop the ball and give me nothing good to work with.
Yeah.
So it's great for marketing, and I love using it for social media.
Right.
Now, to address it in the writing,
Yes.
I only use it in the editing stage. So I use Grammarly to edit my novels, and Grammarly is fantastic at picking up, where the comma should go, or you use
Yeah.
this word too many times, or that kind of thing.
Right.
In terms of creative storytelling, I don't think AI has any place in fiction. I think writers should be at the forefront of their work. If you publish a novel, but 50% of it was done with AI, I don't think that's good. Because creativity, you can't replicate creativity in a machine or an
Yeah.
artificial intelligence.
I think it goes beyond not good. In my opinion, I'm just going to pontificate for a moment,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I see so many people in my marketing world talk about AI writing their books now. And, I'm old enough to know what it was like before the internet and then came to internet. And before social media and then after social media. It used to be really cool to be on TV. Now here we are doing a video podcast. It's no big deal.
Right.
And that's just the way things go. As AI does more generative AI in the writing space, great for copy, like you said, frameworks, editing, we love that.
Absolutely.
But when it takes the lead on creativity, my opinion is twofold. Number one, today, we can both sniff it out. We can read it and go, that feels kind of two-dimensional. I don't
It's
think
obvious.
right? I can sniff it out right now. That might change as it gets better and better. It might be undetectable. Fine. But the bigger issue is what you said earlier. It's like, well, it has no place for creativity. If it takes the place of creativity and operations, why are you on the earth? What is your
Exactly.
purpose? I mean purpose. Okay, maybe you can make some money with it, but when everybody can publish a book, and everyone can have a TV station, everyone can do everything, what are you here for? And that's a serious question I'd like, viewers and listeners to consider when they're using AI, because we all use it. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't let AI use you.
Exactly.
I think it's not just a dangerous slope. I think it's a dead end to what we want to appreciate as human beings. Okay, I got my soapbox. Back to you for a second now. I'm glad you said that though, because I get concerned with people leaning into it so much so that they forget that they're here for a reason.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're working on this series. How many books are in your series?
3.
3. Okay, and how many are done? So just the first one, or?
The first 2 are written.
Okay.
So I launched The Jewels of Fate when I was 17, and then a few years later, The Sword of Soren came out.
Right.
And the third novel in the series, which remains unnamed for now,
Yeah.
will come out within the next year. So
Terrific.
sometime in 2025.
Well, here's a little marketing idea for you. You've got an audience already who's already buying your books, right? Mm-hmm. How big is your community?
About 10,000.
Okay. Congratulations, number one. Contact all of them and offer them naming rights for a fee. Hey, I'll name the next character after you. It's $1,000, and you put them in the book.
Interesting.
You get 10, 20 people to do that out of
I did not
10,000.
think of that.
Not a sweat, right? You can have them be co-sponsors. The best thing I've seen, and this is a little more complicated if you go beyond the 3-book series, maybe you start a new series or this one, is that you do one of those stories that where you have like alternate endings based on the page you turn. I forget what it's called. There's a name for it, right?
Choose your own adventure.
Pardon me?
Choose your own adventure.
Yeah, choose your own adventure, right? If you had to choose your own, this is where AI can help you out. A choose your own adventure where every single book could be tailored to that reader.
Interesting.
And now you could charge $100 for that, right? Because you could give that away. So this is John's book. This is John's adventure going through your characters, right? Blah, 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 blah. But they get their own specific ending based on their, maybe have some inputs there. Like here's my name, the name of my best friend and my mother or my dog or something. And they could be in that story
That's a
through
cool
some
idea.
AI stuff. So I'm just spitballing some ideas here for you because I love interactive storytelling. And it's something I played with before AI came out. I had an interactive book program that was very rudimentary. But talking to someone like you, I'm like, oh my gosh, this would be so much fun to involve your audience when you've got a good one. Involve your audience in the creation of your next story, and they pay for that because hey, if you do the naming person, that's just one, that's a one-off, but it's interactive. That could go many places with that. So there's some things to think about. Of course, there's also plush toys, but we'll get to that later. Movie rights.
Movie
Are you working?
rights. Oof, not yet. Working on it.
All right. We stay in touch with me. I got some friends in Hollywood.
Okay.
I can point you in the right direction. Yeah, point you in the right direction. Help you avoid some serious landmines there.
Oh yeah. I will say though,
Yeah.
I'm also a screenwriter, so I have a screenplay not based off my books that I'm
Yeah.
working on getting out there.
Terrific, terrific. Yeah. The thing about, again, this goes back to disintermediation of all media. You can produce your own movie now. I mean, selling it to Hollywood is like, okay, if it's not Transformers 7, they're not going to buy it, number one. Right? Because they're only betting on, my wife and I were watching a movie the other night that was really good. I forgot the name of it, but like, how can they make movies like this anymore? I'm like, oh, because they don't take risks. They just build franchises and make money. So, but yeah, making your own film is so much easier now with AI, of course, to help you take your story, and maybe even just doing a short. You do like a 6-minute high quality short on one of your stories and use that to help sell the naming thing or the interactive thing. You can do a lot with it, with the media, because as you know, they tend to watch more videos than read, but you can sneak it in there, right? You do a little video to get them to encourage them to read. Find the Easter egg in the book and things like that. So, yeah, happy to help you with that, man. Just drop me a line. We can talk more about the marketing side and giving you some creative ideas to take that list up. That 10,000 that's probably the biggest thing you guys can take away from this interview today. Here's a young man who's written the novels, creative person, who built a database of followers of 10,000 people. Did they all buy the book, or some of them just fans haven't bought yet?
Well, there's a good portion that have not bought, for sure.
Fine. Doesn't matter. The name is worth more than the $20 book, as you probably know, for your marketing, right? You understand the value
Exactly.
of an advocate or a fan is, it can be upwards of like $100 a month, depending on what you've got in your flow. But yeah, man, very good. Great talking to you today. I'm so proud of you and impressed.
Thank you.
And folks, if you want to know more about this, don't just watch his podcast. Don't just download the notes. Go to his website and get his book, especially if you got kids, because I guarantee you they're not reading enough. And, readers are leaders, and people who watch TV tend to just get spoon-fed what somebody else is thinking about, whereas an author like Tyler can give the person creative juices to create their own story and their own life. So, Tyler, any parting words for young or old authors in terms of their journeys?
Yeah, for sure. So let me be an example to you.
Yep.
If this 23-year-old kid from St. Catharines, Ontario can publish 2 novels and be wrapping up a series this year, like there's no doubt in my mind that anyone can write a novel. It takes creativity, commitment, and consistency for sure, but those are all traits that I think every human being has in them. So if you want to write a novel, let me be the first to tell you, there's nothing stopping you.
Wow. Inspiration. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time today. Folks, enjoy. Download his information below. Contact him. Get his book. And like he said, there's the only thing holding you back as yourself. So wise words have never been spoken better than that, Tyler. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. Download this episode. Share with a friend. And don't forget to read. Thanks so much.